in. How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more I Wanna Be the Orbit. And last time I was in an elevator, well, in the middle of an elevator. Not sure how long it will be, the elevator that is. The game, I know it will be pretty long, but in the middle of this elevator, not sure how long it could take, but we will see. Yeah, obviously I cannot down this Bowser. I don't remember what was the catch here. Oh, you were supposed to jump, okay. We're supposed to jump into the platform with the cherry. Gotcha. I promise that you have to position yourself well. Though the most messed up thing is that I did that on the first try. Like, that wasn't hard for me to do. Now I'm struggling. Ah, almost. God damn it. Though, I don't remember what killed me here. It was something after this, but what could have been? What killed me? I really don't remember. So I'm doing it too early. Every time. Both platforms are at the same height, right? Like left or right is the same. Well, actually no, it's only right. Damn. I guess it was a lot harder than I gave it credit for at the beginning. It's fine. I'm assuming that if you fall to that thing there, you should die. Probably. I'm gonna be very scared to... I can make it, to see what killed me last time. Like, I feel a little bit scared. Because if this thing is taking me a long time, what killed me on the previous stream is gonna be even worse. No, you have to wait no matter what. Like, I'm jumping way too early. It's just that the gap in between those projectiles is very, very small. Yeah, like that. Oh, you have to... Okay, I remember. You're supposed to go up immediately afterwards. Like, if you stay in that platform, you're dead. Okay. Yeah, and after that I didn't even continue trying because just wanted to be done with the stream, but yeah, essentially you have to land on the last possible gap between these projectiles and then jump. Promise that gap is very small. Ah, fuck. Those are still hard jumps. Like, having to not hit the ceiling. Though I think after you're past the laser, I don't think you need to jump. You have to wait until the elevator reaches you. So I basically fucked up. Though here you never know when a trap is gonna show up, you know. Like, maybe staying there is deadly. Okay, I'm gonna stay here. Huh, really? That touched me? Though it seems that those are some of the only... Well, so far, some of the only sprites in the game that don't actually... Ah, fuck. That don't actually have the hitbox in the whole sprite. Like, I think I was able to actually overlap with the sprite without dying, but I don't know. Ah, that's a hard jump. Like, I swear it's a hard jump. It's fine. I'm gonna get through it. No, that's... That's not the last one. Sometimes it's also hard to measure exactly which one is the last one. Okay, come on. Well, see, that one was the last one, but didn't have enough room. Or rather, I did have enough room, but I missed. Okay, man, I missed again. It's not easy. Would be nice if you would shoot. Unless you can actually shoot him. I doubt it. Because I mean, otherwise they wouldn't make it that precise to make the champ. They would make it impossible if the answer was taking him out. Ah, fuck, man, that champ is so hard to do. It actually is. Though I don't know how jumping over the beast is gonna be. Like, it looks like a very, very precise jump too. Well, too precise jump because they are two beasts. So yeah, and I have no clue when the next checkpoint is gonna arrive either. Oof. Okay. Okay, it's there. Damn, I died to that. That shouldn't be that hard to jump over though. And well, I don't know if there's gonna be a trap before that next checkpoint, but at least after that there is a checkpoint. What's with that hole in the wall? You mean on the floor? I mean, it's probably a trap. I could trigger it if you want, but no, it's not even a trap. Not sure what it is. Yeah, how is it going, Wasabi? Yeah, maybe it was just part of the... You know... of the tile map. Or something. Damn, dude. How is that hitting me though? I feel like I'm not even close. Like, because it's not that they turn around. And that's what's killing me. They turn around simply because you die. And they look at the origin, which is 0-0 on the top left. Like, they are touching me when I feel that they shouldn't. But maybe the hitbox is as annoying as expected after all. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it actually is. Because what's essentially killing me is their little antennas. Though I feel like on the first checkpoint of this elevator, you could go through them. But I guess not anymore. Oh, and that piece of shit moves, huh? Well, that's an issue though, because what do I do if you move? Damn it, dude. Annoying ass checkpoint. I'm glad I left this for today. Like, yesterday I would be very salty. Oh, I get it. Actually, well, if that's the case, you should wait for the elevator to be there, right? Like, jumping doesn't really serve any purpose. You might as well just wait for the elevator to take you upwards. It'd be nice to do it for both, but no. Man, fuck your stupid ass antennas, for fuck's sake. No, it's something very selective. Like, for example, the kill, which is, you know, the character that you use, you don't really have a hitbox equivalent to the sprite. Like, the hitbox is a rectangle that doesn't even take all of its length, right? Let alone things like the ribbon. If it's an enemy, it feels like it has to be anything or it doesn't count, you know? Fucking dipshits. Okay, got the checkpoint finally. Holy shit, that took 10 minutes. That single checkpoint took 10 fucking minutes. Damn, that's wild. But it's fine. And it is what it is. That one, I mean, the issue is that with all of those little accessories, if you want to call it that way, that these enemies have, it's almost impossible to get through them easily. Okay, I think that there I wasn't supposed to jump, but I feel like the explosion will have reached me anyways. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna stay still. No. So do I have to like shoot him? No, okay, you gotta jump out at the right time. The problem is that these explosions have a shit ton of active frames, so pretty possible to get hit after you think the explosion is done. Oh, you could also trigger it and then go down. But yeah, again, the problem is the same one, which is the active frames. You don't know exactly when you're safe. Yeah, okay, it seems that even triggering it early doesn't work if you're gonna stay down there, but again, jumping doesn't seem that different. We will see though. Promise that that jump is the same one as the previous ones, where you have to avoid hitting your head in the ceiling. It's a little bit of an issue. Okay, that worked. What the hell is this? No, this doesn't look very nice at all. Okay. Checkpoint. Well, that one was a lot faster, 2.5 minutes. And then we have clamps. And obviously you cannot down them. It seems that that's like... Oh, that's an on-it. It's using rock slide. I wonder if those are random. Because if they are random, they have the potential to be... what a dipshit. We're supposed to go right. If they are random, they have the potential to completely corner you. And there's nothing you can do. So, can you actually stay still here? Yeah. This one is actually free. It's as simple as staying there and then jumping. Yeah, this on it's only simple assuming that's a static. If it's random, I don't know. No, if it's a static, you also have to learn it, which is a little bit annoying, but I guess better than relying on luck. I think it's actually random. It is random. I don't know about that, dude. Making that random seems like a horrible idea. Like an actual bad idea. Not just in like the usual troll way, but like an actual badly thought idea. God damn it, dude. So what happens if you actually just stay still without jumping on the second one? No, you do get killed. Alright, so you gotta stay still and then jump. Wonder if there's also some factor on where you are on the screen. No, there isn't. There actually isn't. Like, it's completely random. Like, there is no pattern to follow. It just seems to be completely random. And I thought they would just leave the uncontrolled RNG to bosses, but apparently not. Have uncontrolled RNG on stages too. Oh, wait, there's... I saw that. Oh, but it doesn't mean anything. So, the most likely scenario is that this was taken straight from the actual level in Donkey Kong Country 2. Because otherwise, what's the point of that door? It's most likely just completely copy-pasted. If I had to take a guess. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm gonna stay still. Oh, never mind. Well, I'm surprised that a troll face is like such a simple as attack. I guess that's the reverse psychology, right? Because it is a troll face. You think that it's something out of the ordinary, but... yeah, the classic TF. Well, I cannot really say I got trolled, though. I simply didn't dodge properly. The troll didn't really happen. So you gotta work on your trolling, bro. It's a little bit out of whack. At least these ones are trivial to dodge. And these troll faces should also be trivial to dodge. Oh, but they are not aim. They are static, I think. I think that they are actually static, okay. Well, that makes it even weirder, guys. That's even less of a troll. At the same time, if I would have known that they were static from the beginning, I probably wouldn't have died, so... I guess the troll was relatively successful after all. I don't know. Wow, really? At least I wanna believe that we're getting close to the top of the elevator. I wanna believe. Well, I also wanna believe I'm not gonna die to that every time. I wanna believe, but it wouldn't be happening, you know? Okay. So if it's a static, you can just stay in one place. Yeah. Well, that was even an explosion, so yeah, I guess that was a troll. Alright. That's an interesting one. I mean, here it's no problem, but if it starts going faster, it will be a problem. Okay. Oof. Alright. No, I mean, this part will not be here and it will be just as easy. You know? I think that you don't even need to be familiar with shoot 'em ups to know how to dodge that. Seems pretty easy. Like just by jumping normally you will do that. I mean, you will realize what to do, you know? Which is pretty much what I did, you know? Okay. No problem. What else do we have here? 2? Yeah, correct. This one is different because they are 2 at the same... Well, it was easy, but it was 2 at the same time with different synchronization. It could have been bad. And its stupid little wings. Yeah, I guess maybe the ones that didn't have such a big hitbox probably were the orange ones, because I think at the beginning the ones that showed up were orange, but these ones have a hitbox like the classic sprite equals hitbox, you know. So now what? Oh, right or left? I'm gonna go right. Probably a bad idea. No, not a bad idea actually. Yes, a bad idea actually. Nice. An actual bad idea. That one is impossible to predict. You cannot possibly know which one is gonna be. Like, it's a 50-50. Like, you either get it or you don't. I'm surprised that didn't kill me. Alright, so go left. And then the elevator actually stops, so we might have reached the top. Hopefully. Would be nice. Shame that last jump doesn't look that easy though. I mean, having these things essentially as being the equivalent to a spike is a little bit evil. It is essentially, imagine like you do platforming with spikes, but the spikes instead of triangle they are squares. Well, this is what this is. Okay, got it. Checkpoint. And a boss most likely. Yeah, correct. Okay, so wait. Oh, that's the boss, the barrel? No. It's those weird guys. Are they supposed to be crabs? Promise that there are 2 issues here. They have a shit ton of iframes, that's one. But the problem is that the iframes also make him disappear for a make them disappear for a long time, so that's actually detrimental to know where they are currently. Doesn't seem like I'm supposed to hit that. Nice. Doesn't seem like I'm supposed to hit the barrel itself though, I think. Yeah, the issue is this, guys. I mean, I don't know how you see that blinking and you think it's fine. More importantly, I don't see how any tester hasn't pointed it out. Whatever. Does this one actually follows the basic principle of like edge of the screen looping, I'm assuming? Alright, what else do you have? Oh, Cerno heads, them. Not just Cerno heads, but these are Cerno heads with empty eyes. Make them even more creepy. Crazy. Okay. Oh, you have to eat. Okay. Wait, what the hell is this pattern? What? They are not really bouncing. They are moving in a circle while bouncing them. That's so fucked up. At least their speed is constant. Problem is that the speed of each one is different. That's fucked up. Sure. I mean, the important thing is that after that it's over, because that looks like a super hard pattern. It actually looks very hard. Yeah, another issue of that blinking being so exaggerated is that, like, if you hit multiple of them, they will inevitably overlap. So at some point you don't know exactly who you are shooting at. didn't cost you anything doing the blinking faster, you know? Not like it's gonna take a lot of computing resources. Yeah, as long as you don't make it blink 1,000 times per second. Nice, so this one was... Oh yeah, the Cerno heads. Well, theoretically the Cerno heads should be free, right? I mean, you dodge them simply by jumping over them. If they weren't there, it wouldn't make a difference. This one, on the other hand, is quite fucked up. Because I feel like hitting these cherries will already be hard by itself. But here you want to hit... You want me to hit them while I'm also dealing with this... Ah, fuck you. With this Kappa shell. That's very messed up. Well, it's fine. Also, by the way, in a relatively unrelated note, I actually completely finished doing the visuals for my fan game, so the only quote-unquote only thing left is doing the actual game, you know? The actual level design, the rooms and all of that, like how I want the spikes to be, you know, the saves, the platforms, all of that. That's what's left. So at least it's a good advance, but it's still quite far regardless. It's not gonna happen for some more months, but that's fine. I already calculated that it will be done by June anyway, so there is 4 months for that. Oof, nice. Well, I got rid of the slow one, or at least one of them. Come on. Oof. You are such a fucking dipshit. You are such a dipshit. I can't believe that you actually had other garbage after that. Very, very messed up. What happened to putting the easiest attacks of a boss at the end of the fight? You wouldn't be doing that for this one. Also, the summoning of that second attack with the Pikachu's, like... it's impossible to know if you're gonna get hit or not beforehand. Like another very good demonstration of uncontrolled RNG. Though unfortunately it seems that this game has a lot of that. Like unfortunately the RNG in this game is completely out of control. So yeah, that might not be a problem now where the bosses are relatively easier. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't think of it, but I could actually use the gamepad here. Just that with iframes this big, it's not like shooting is the real problem. So I don't think it's that worth it. That's unbelievable. Uncontrolled RNG, dude. Ooh, that almost killed me. Like at the beginning I thought that staying in the center will be the solution, but no. Because they can spawn wherever they want to. And if they feel like spawning in the center, they can. And if they feel like spawning in the side, they also can. And if they decide to spawn in the two different sides, like one on the left and one on the right, yes, they also can. It's like at that point, you just gotta know the future to avoid getting hit. That wouldn't be that much of an issue if it was the first attack, but unfortunately, it is not the first attack, you know? Ah, damn it, dude. This is gonna take a while, probably. But like, I'm assuming any boss that appears from now on, basically. Just the way it is. It feels like when they do spawn into different sides, it becomes a problem. Though here, I got lucky there because one of them was super vertical, so it was very trivial to dodge. So I cannot believe this Sarnos, dude. What kind of attack is this? The problem is that I can't believe that I died to the fucking barrel when I actually got rid of the cherries. Ah, damn it, dude. And I don't really know when the boss is gonna be done, because here there is nothing to really shoot. Like, I guess that the boss itself is supposed to be the barrel, but you cannot damage it, so I do wonder when it's gonna be over. I mean, yeah, when it eventually runs out of attacks to do. How do I know when that is? Like, for all I know, on my current PV, like, that will be halfway through the fight, you know? It's impossible to know otherwise. So I kinda doubt that that's gonna be the case. I wanna believe that after the cherries, like, he's gonna do like that stomp attack that killed me on my PV, but then it should be over, I wanna believe. Or either that or do a final attack, but how do we know? The answer is that we don't know. It's not possible to know. Ah, fuck, dude. Unfortunately, that's extremely random. The way those cherries get spawned. Like, the movement is not random, like, once they are spawned, but obviously the way they get spawned at the beginning dictates how they are gonna do on the rest of the time. And that will give you some very messed up combinations, and that's, as I was saying earlier, it's the epitome of uncontrolled RNG. It could be very messed up, or not. Ah, shit. The only thing that will decide that is none other than the RNG. Well, it's fine. Interesting that also small things like the shell summon there are also random. He could summon the shell on the left or on the right, and it's all down to luck. Nothing more, nothing less. In that case, at least it's a 50-50. Still messed up though. Okay, move. Yeah, there it barely even gives you a warning, which it's pretty much the reason why I got killed last time. Oh, you are such a dipshit. You are such a fucking dipshit. You are such a dipshit. I want to believe that the guy that made this boss is the same asshole that did permanent, so that way I can insult him and feel good about insulting him. Because with Dagger, I don't think that we are intimate enough, you know? Haven't played enough of his games. But with that other guy, even though I played only one of his games, that was enough. Well, actually, no, I played 2 of his games. Because I played Permanence and Permanence 2. It's just that Permanence 2, I thought it was so shit that I beat the first area and I stopped playing it. But yeah, something tells me that this was made by that guy. It has like that cancer imprint in it, you know? Hey, maybe I'm wrong and this is actually Dagger's doing. And if it's Dagger's doing, well... that will be something. I guess I'd rather not know what games he did. Well, the problem here is that it's kinda impossible to predict. Okay, there we go. What else? Oh, on it. Ah, shit. How are 3 bounces? 3 bounces before the iframes go away, but then... yeah, like... don't you think that the blinking on the iframes is a little bit exaggerated, mister? I cannot move. Okay. What? We are entering the barrel. Oh no, this is Touhou Spike. Touhou Spike was actually made by the guy I was mentioning I don't like. I mean, to be fair, I didn't dislike Touhou Spike that much. Well, not the first 2, I think the third one is the one that I dislike. But yeah, essentially, well, for those that might not know, the Touhou Spike games are exclusively needle games. Like, in fact, even though it obviously was not the first needle game, and not even close, it was, I guess, one of the ones that popularized needle as a fun game genre, I guess. But I'm not sure if popularized, but it's definitely one of the most known, like, basic needles. Not one of the most known needle games, because for that you have Crimson Needle taking the crown without a doubt. But yeah, at least when it comes to needle without gimmicks and just like plain needle, yeah, Touhou Spike is probably the most known. Wasabi will correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. You know what, despite playing all these fun games, I'm still not that well versed with fun game history. Oof. Oh, that's okay. Gotcha. And that's a Woos checkpoint. Are you for real? I feel sorry for everyone that picked hard on this game. Like, because in my case, obviously, since I already have, like, you know, delicious fruit telling me that this is 70 points of difficulty, I already know that picking anything other than the lowest difficulty is a bad idea. But for people that just play this when it came out, like, damn, that must have sucked. Oh, Infinite Champ. I'm not sure how to feel about that. The actual most popular needle game is I Wanna Be the Kind, which is really held by being beginner friendly. Really? Oh shit, speaking of Kind, we're gonna have Touhou fairies over here. Kind is Rin Kind, right? Like the Touhou character. Not sure if it's worth it killing these fairies. Like, for how much time they are active on the screen, probably not. Well, in this case, yeah, that one might be worth it. That's who appears on the title screen. The funny thing is that fan games like that have those names that usually have absolutely nothing to do with the game itself. Cox. This could potentially be an issue. I honestly would have preferred the pure needle there. Like, normally, I mean, this is Danmaku, right? I don't mind Danmaku. I don't like Infinite Champ Danmaku. It's fine. Okay. I'm a little bit scared though that the game might require me to kill some of this. Oh, it definitely wants me to kill this one. But bro, there's barely any room to shoot. I wanna assume that you want me to kill it, I guess. It's not like you weren't doing many different things there. I'm surprised that you can just let these ones go without trouble. Why is this called I Wanna Be the Orbit? What are you orbiting about? Yeah. I mean, that's also one of my motivations to make a fan game, so I actually make a fan game with a name that is related to what you actually wanna do in the fan game, you know? So yeah. I don't think I could forgive myself if I make a fan game where the name doesn't represent what you are doing. I feel like, I mean, it just surprises me how it's not a basic thing for I Wanna Be the Guy fan games to actually have an objective. Like, you will think that that's the bare minimum a game needs. I mean, yeah, the objective is getting to the end, beating it, but like, beating it doesn't really mean anything inside of the game. It just means reaching the end of the game. It's not as bad as the prequel to this game, I Wanna Be Assaulted. This game is actually a sequel. Yeah, I don't know, I think that you will think that thinking of the name of a game will be the easiest thing to do, but apparently for fan game makers it isn't. Okay, so that fairy, I guess you have to preemptively shoot it, because otherwise, once the bullets are there, it's very hard to get a shot in. No, not yet. Not yet. No. Well, I think I shot as much as I could. Though, maybe it's just that I think that I'm wasting my time if I stand here. Well, not to mention that you can actually stand here, do absolutely nothing, and not get hit, so it's pretty clear you're intended to kill her. Well, that's actually hard to do. Okay, got it. Nice. Well, considering it was the last enemy, makes sense. No more infinite champ, of course. We're back at normal needle. Also, most people don't care about the story of a fan game, only the gameplay. Well, yeah, but you don't have to have a story. Like, I feel like that's a common misconception, right? For example, the name I Wanna Uhuhu Spike is not that bad of a name, because at least it identifies what the game is about. Like, you have a lot of spikes, and Uhuhu, well, I'm not sure what's the origin of that, but even if it has no meaning, it's still a way to identify the game in a way that, you know, the game actually has what it says, which is spikes, right? So that's a title that, you know, doesn't really mention that there's any story or anything like that. And it still makes sense with the game itself, you know? So for this one, for example, I mean, I have no clue what's gonna be at the end. Well, actually, that's the thing. Since I don't know what's gonna be at the end, I probably shouldn't give an opinion on what this game is gonna be called. I think that in adventure games that usually have so many different things that are not related to each other, like you can very easily see in this game, I think the perfect solution will be just focus on whatever is at the end, because that's essentially your final objective, you know? I think it will be nice. Yeah. I guess. Oh, that's a very fucked up champ. It's actually fucked up. Okay, I got it. That was not easy. Huh, you miss. You miss. Stupid ass Ryu. You miss. Oh, Marisa. And they should straight up use Mega's Knight for the song. Damn, these guys really give zero shits about using official resources. Yeah, it is the original Mega's Knight from Great Fairy Wars. Not to mention the star bullets also from... Well, I guess the first Touhou game that used it was probably Touhou. I think Touhou 6 actually might be the first one that used stars, but these ones might be the ones from Touhou 8. Also, I know that it's pretty easy now to make fun of the situation because of soon using AI on the latest game, but you gotta understand that this game released when large language models were not even a thing. So I think that when this released, I feel like this was a little bit of an asshole-ish move. At least if you were a Soon fan, obviously. I guess if you don't give a fuck about Soon, well, yeah, sure. But yeah. Especially with them being Japanese. This one is called Milky Way, by the way. I think it's Magic Sign Milky Way, what it says there. Oh, that reminds me that I opened the game without using locale emulator, which shouldn't matter, but, you know, just as a fun fact, I guess. As I said before, even though I like Danmaku, I don't like dodging Danmaku with Infinite Champ. It's just very annoying to me. That portrait is, by the way, Marisa's portrait from Touhou 8 in Perishable Night. This guy is no fucks given. Like, no fucks given whatsoever. Like, I realize that soon guidelines probably don't apply to free games, but yeah, the game doesn't crash without it. Well, clearly, I mean, after all, I started playing the game without the locale emulator. Only use it for that one message. That, by the way, it was useless to know what the message say, because it should say like that Zelda phrase that say that you need the eyes of truth to look at the darkness or whatever. So it wasn't even useful to use it. That's also very fucked up. You could easily just get stuck there, you know? Not knowing what the fuck to do. Cox. Alright. This, considering that we have either 3 or 4 health bars, this is gonna take a while. And it seems that each health bar has the non-spell and the spell card, which essentially means that I'll be doing this for a while. Also, the sound effect for the bullet being shot is a little bit loud. Like, the music is not audible. Like, if it wasn't for the beginning, I could barely tell this is Mega's Knight. Well, no, I guess in some patterns you hear it more clearly. I wonder if this... Actually, this probably will be easy to do with a controller now that I think about it. Oh, Master Spark. Well, at least it's not like the one in the actual game where it moves. Should I use the gamepad? I feel like I should. Yeah, because here I will need to spam, so okay. Let me first of all connect my shit. And then bring up a Shoutouts key. There you go. Okay. And we should be ready to go. Yeah, like if I need to spam and dodge at the same time, it has to be with controller. And I don't usually nowadays play a shoot 'em up with controller anymore, but the thing is that I also don't play with the layout that I am using here, which is WASD. Like, I play shoot 'em ups with the arrow, so I guess it shouldn't make that big of a difference. I know she has iframes, but in a situation like this, it's a problem. Because she does have iframes, but the iframes don't last for that long. At least not compared to like the previous boss. And the thing is that spamming at least gives you a higher chance of hitting her even when you're not really paying that much attention, you know? Well, that's the good thing of having multiple options. Like, If I think that this is not a good idea, it's as simple as leaving the gamepad and just using the keyboard. I mean, honestly, analyzing these attempts, feels like my success... Well, I was gonna say success rate, but technically there is no success rate, because I obviously haven't beaten this. Like, I think I went further with the keyboard, actually. But maybe I just need to get used to it a little bit. Keep in mind that I'm also not really spamming that fast. Yeah, I guess in this situation, this one is just hard to tell what's the optimal strategy. Because infinite jumping really is one thing that outside of fun games, I haven't really played any game that focuses on infinite jumping, or at least no super hard challenges like this one with infinite jump. I'm not saying that this is extremely hard, but like hard enough to require multiple attempts, of course. Infinite jumping remind me of Flappy Bird. I can guarantee you that Flappy Bird is quite a lot easier than this one. Hey, we see it going methods. Also, you know that I rewatch my Inertia playthrough after you mentioned that yesterday, and I don't really see anything out of the ordinary there. But hey, I'm not the viewer here after all, so I don't get to decide which streams are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones. That's up to the viewer to decide. Yeah, like I saw glimpses of it and I'm like, you know, this stream is like the usual shit I do. Not to mention the game wasn't really what I would call interesting either, you know. But hey, if you like it, I'm glad. Yeah, I personally gotta say that what I probably will find the most interesting is probably the fun game streams like this one. Simply because these are games that it's not like they are played that much. I mean, not many people play I Wanna Be the Guy fun games in general. Sorry, I meant to say stream them. Not many people stream them. Yeah, a lot of people play them, but... Okay. This attack is a little bit weird. Like, I don't see any pattern here. Like, I can more or less guess the pattern, but I don't know. Then you have Master Spark to make things spicier. But yeah, as I say, at least this Master Spark doesn't actually move the spark around. I was doing research on the platforming genre. That's how I found your playthrough and I found your jokes funny. You are doing research on the platformer genre. Well, that's an interesting thing. I was not expecting you researching the platforming genre. Well, when it comes to 3D platformers, I guess there aren't that many. And much less there aren't many that are in first person. Like, because if you're asking for 3D platformer recommendations, the obvious choices will be like the 3D Mario games. like, you know, Crash Bandicoot, like classical 3D platformer. But yeah, if we're talking about first-person platformer, what games did I play? Well, I played, I don't remember the names. There is one game where you use 2 guns and you have to jump around walls and all of that. I don't remember the name though, so I don't know why I'm even saying it if I don't remember the name. But that was cool for what I remember. It was a nice game. It was also first person, of course. Well, not to mention a first-person shooter, since you actually do use gun. Oh yeah, there is one game that is not the one I just mentioned, but I found to be amazing. It's called Seum, Speedrunners from Hell. Seum is spelled S-E-U-M. That's a very good game. Now, you're basically some random guy that goes to hell, and you get the power to shoot fireballs. So yeah, that's the premise. The actual game, well, it's a game that is taught for speedrunners first and foremost, pretty much. But yeah, it's a very good game. It's been so long since I played that, actually. I think that one I probably played it even before I played Inertia. Or did I? Actually don't remember. Could be. I don't know. That's a good game if you wanna research first-person platforming games. That game is good. Though it also, keep in mind that it's not like technically a pure platformer, since you also shoot. I'm pretty sure it also had enemies, it had switches to trigger, so it wasn't like Inertia that you just jump, you know. But yeah, I just remember it being a very good game. That's all I can say, because it's been so long. I think I remember every time that you beat a level, maybe I'm confusing it with another game, but I remember the protagonist saying "hell yeah" or something like that. It was pretty cool. Wait, no way, you have auto aim? Man, if I had knew that, oh, I'm probably supposed to be in the middle. It did give me enough time to go to the middle. I can't believe you have auto aim. I've been jumping to the middle all this time for absolutely no reason. I can't believe that. That's so silly. I can... Well, okay, for that specific attack you kinda wanna be in the middle, actually. But man, that's so silly. I would have done this attack so many times already. I never realized that you actually automatically aim. I guess it's funny in retrospective that I wasted all that time trying to dodge in the middle. Though, at the same time, yeah, that attack you need to dodge in the middle. But this one you can just stay down here. Because here you basically gotta use a very simple theory, which is the theory of the longest distance. You want to be at the longest distance from where the bullets spawn, and that is clearly in the corner. If you draw like a perfect line from where Marisa is to where you are, the furthest distance will be in the corners. And that's what leaves you obviously the most time to react, clearly. That's kinda the point. Okay, so this time we at least know we gotta go to the middle, though. As I say before, like, I saw that coming, but for some reason part of me was like, nah. Well, this is a very popular Danmakufu script, actually. Like, very popular. Danmakufu is a platform to do Danmaku scripts that I'm pretty sure it's not used anymore. Back then it was kinda used, and this was one of the most popular patterns I remember. Well, I don't know if one of the most popular, but certainly one of the best. Alright, and now we keep doing that. Nice. So yeah, you also gotta be in the middle for that one. It's also famous for being in I Wanna Sunspike. I wonder which one came first. Because yeah, the Danmakufu script, I don't think that many people know it. Well, especially nowadays. In fact, that's actually pretty crazy to me. Danmakufu, back when I played a lot of Touhou, was super popular. Well, not, I guess super popular is a way of saying, but like anything that had to do with Touhou fan games had to go through Danmakufu pretty much. Like the most popular Touhou fan games from back then were Danmakufu. And yeah, at some point, essentially, when better alternatives show up, Danmakufu was kinda shit from the very beginning. But the thing is that it allowed people with minimum programming knowledge to make a fun game. But that was back when game engines were not very easy to use. So later on, things like, for example, Lua STG were created. And Lua STG is, well, based on Lua, the game engine. Well, the game engine, and also, I think it also has its own language. I might be wrong about that. I think it has its own language like Game Maker. And yeah, with Lua STG, so many high-quality fun games came out. What I don't know is what a fantastic Danmaku festival is written on, because it's not in Lua STG, I think. But I'm not sure what it is made with. Certainly not Danmakufu, that's for sure. But yeah, maybe it's just done with a generic engine. Point is that at some point Danmakufu kinda stopped being relevant because the difficulty of learning Danmakufu was kinda like the same of learning an actual game engine that didn't suck balls like Danmakufu did. So yeah, at that point, just use an actual engine, you know. But yeah, back then, like in the early, how do you say this? Like in the early 10s, or you would say that the 2010s, I guess. But like around that era where Touhou was starting to gain a lot of popularity, Danmakufu was pretty much the king of fun games. Well, at least of Danmaku fun games, because when it comes to Touhou, you have so many fun games of different genres. But when it came to Danmaku, it was Danmakufu. It was that. For what I understand, Touhou, actually, that's something that I'm very reminiscent of. Touhou, I think the peak of popularity was, well, at least, I don't know if the peak of popularity, or like the peak of growth, like when most people actually started getting into the fan base was in like 2012. Like basically where I also got into it. And I don't think it's a coincidence. Like after the release of 10 Desires and before the release of Double Dealing Character, I think that there was a huge spike in new players. Nowadays I think Touhou games are kinda in like limbo state. I don't think that we're getting many new players, but that's because the shoot 'em up genre in general, nobody really cares about it, and understandably so. It's a genre with a gigantic barrier of entry. Well, I mean, the barrier of entry is simply being, like, you know, getting good at a game. Like, you have to get very good at shoot 'em ups to enjoy them. Otherwise, it's kind of like you're not really enjoying them. You're just there. So yeah. But at the same time, it's not like I can really recommend shoot 'em ups to anyone, you know? I think that shoot 'em ups are one of those things that you have two reasons to play them, and one of them no longer applies. The one that no longer applies is basically the fact that they were the arcade game for excellence, right? Like, pretty much the most common arcade game was essentially shoot 'em ups. So in the arcade boom, that was a reason to play shoot 'em ups, since they were basically the most common games. But since that no longer applies because the arcade boom has already happened a very long time ago, 30 years ago in fact, the only reason why you will play a shoot 'em up nowadays is because you see them and you are like, damn, I like this. Like, there's basically no one that can tell you to play a shoot 'em up, because there is kind of like no reason to do it if you are not already interested in them. Of course, there could be things like, hey, check this shoot 'em up, I think you're gonna like it. But I don't know, I feel like it's very weird for a person that never played a shoot 'em up and to, like, someone that already knows that they exist, more or less, to actually be interested. I feel like you can only get interested once you see them for the first time, and then you will have to be a very specific type of person to like them. But in my case, I just saw like a very hard boss. Like, the game is called Mushihime-sama, right? Well, Mushihime-sama Futari, to be precise, it's the second one. I played that game, I saw that game, I saw the video of that game, and I'm like, damn, I really want to be able to do that, like what I'm seeing in the video. Funny thing is that I never managed to get to the level to do what I saw in the video, which I guess it's both funny and pretty sad, because that was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. So the fact that I could never get to that level is a little bit sad, but at the same time, that video that I watched, I don't think many people in the world can pull that off. Like, there probably are, like, what? Less than 100, probably. But yeah. If you see a video like that and you are like, wow, what a piece of shit, then yeah, I guess you are not really interested in shoot 'em ups. But it's fine. I think that video game genres, not everything is for everyone. Well, the same way I absolutely hate, you know, things like, well, story-based games usually. Like, I was gonna say visual novels, but it's not just visual novels. It's like turn-based RPGs with heavy focus on story. Well, competitive games also, with the exception of fighting games, I guess, but yeah, not a fan of that. Of competitive games, right? But a lot of people are. I mean, to not go any further, one of the most popular games ever basically being League of Legends, and I absolutely hate MOBAs. So yeah, that's the prime example of the fact that video game genres are not for everyone. But yeah, it is what it is. I also don't like things like Counter-Strike, you know? Well, or even a more popular example, Fortnite. Like Fortnite, no thank you, wow, I died. I think this game looks intimidating and most people don't have resilience to keep trying for so many attempts. Well, I mean, that applies to basically any I wanna be the guy fan game. Like this one, yeah, you could say that this section is shoot 'em up, but technically, yeah, it's like, the game itself is not a shoot 'em up. But yeah, fun games in general are not games that are made to be played by normal people. When I say fun games, I mean specifically I wanna be the guy fun games. Because fun games, yeah, you have fun game of everything, but no, I mean specifically I wanna be the guy fun games. They are not meant to be played by normal people. They are meant to be played by people that really, really like hard games. And that's my case. Yeah. League mentioned I played it for 13 years. My condolences. Nah, I'm just kidding. I got top 400 in Europe on League. Oh, nice. I don't know how good that is, but I'm assuming it's good. So, good stuff. League of Legends, I mean, but it's not just League of Legends, because here you might think that I'm talking shit about League of Legends because I have something personal against it, but no, I hate Dota just as well. And even though it's not the same genre, I also hate StarCraft and Warcraft. Like technically the genre of those is real-time strategy, but they are pretty much the grandfathers of MOBAs, right? In a way. So yeah, I don't like any of those things. Much less, because at least in the case of Warcraft and StarCraft, those are games that anything that happens fully depends on you. In League of Legends or Dota, anything that happens does not solely depend on you. It depends on you and the other 4 guys that you're playing with. That's something that I don't think I will be able to deal with because, well, I already tried, by the way, guys. You might be thinking, well, you don't know until you give it a chance. It's true that I did not give League of Legends a chance, but instead I gave Heroes of the Storm a chance. I'm pretty sure that game is dead now, but the point is that that was a MOBA I played, and I just couldn't really deal with it, because in my case, I'm a person that when it comes to video games, I really like going upfront about things, you know. MOBAs are about carefully calculating when you're supposed to go in and when you're supposed to retreat and hold back and hold the line, right? I cannot do that. Like, I want to go in, I want to kill everyone, you know? Like, I played as if it was a hack and slash, you know? Like, I'm Dante from Devil May Cry and I'm killing every enemy that crosses my path. Well, no, that's not how you play a MOBA, obviously. A MOBA, in that case, is more similar to chess. Like, in chess, you don't just grab the queen and go straight for the pawns, right? Like, you are supposed to carefully choose every single move you make to, you know, trap the opponent into making a mistake. Well, trap, or I mean, you know, making him more vulnerable to mistakes. But like, you usually don't go aggressive, like you play more reserve. Have you seen Touhou's KO? Yeah, unfortunately that game you know, I don't wanna sound aggressive, but unfortunately that game sucks. Sucks as a game and as a fighting game, which is the worst thing that could happen. Because you know that there are a lot of fighting games that suck as fighting games, but as games they are good, right? Like, believe it or not, well, I could give you an example. It's a funny example, I guess, because it's a game that is basically the definition of what people say kusoge, which means shitty game in Japanese. It's Fist of the North Star. I don't remember the full name, but it's basically the only fighting game that Fist of the North Star had. As a regular game, that game is cool. I mean, if you like Hokuto no Ken or, well, Fist of the North Star, it's a cool fighting game. It has very nice mechanics, you know? Like, you can play as not many characters, but like the characters that you can play as are very well done with a lot of references to the original game, you know? Well, as a fighting game, it's fucking shit. Competitively, though very exciting to watch, don't get me wrong. It's a very exciting to watch game precisely because of how bullshit it is, but it's an unbalanced mess. Like, it's a game where every character basically has an infinite. Like, you get hit and they can easily end the fight right there if the player is good enough. Combos that last for literally a minute. You know, instant deaths, and instant deaths that are actually meant to be there. Like, it's not an exploit, like instant deaths that are meant to be used. Like, that fighting game has so many flaws as a fighting game, but as a game itself is good. Well, another good example is Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Well, actually, no, let me correct myself. Every Marvel vs. Capcom game, every Marvel vs. Capcom game, as games, they are good. They are good games. Like, they have a lot of characters that are from completely different franchises all coming together. Like, very, very good game. But competitively, they are all a disaster. That doesn't mean that they are not nice to watch. Again, usually watching these games is fun because of the bullshit, right? And the fact that the competitive people completely destroy the game. Like, it's like you're watching a glitch showcase, right? It's just that they are not glitches, it's just the game being that badly balanced, you know? But yeah, that's an example. And here is the point that I was about to make. 2XKO is bad in both cases. It's bad as a normal game, and it's bad as a competitive game. Like, as a competitive game, first of all, it's unbalanced, which is not something that is rare in fighting games, but it's unbalanced in a way that is not fun, you know? Like, differently from shit like Hokuto no Ken or Marvel vs. Capcom, you have a lot of fucked up shit, but that looks bland. At least in Marvel vs. Capcom, you look at the bullshit and it's entertaining to see how fucking broken the game is. In 2XKO, it's like, you know, it's just insipid. Like, there is no flavor there, you know? And as a normal game, well, it has no content. It's meant to be a competitive game first and foremost. So if you are not planning to fight against other people, it's barely even a game. So yeah, you know. Then, by the way, there are games that are good fighting games but bad regular games, you know. Believe it or not, those exist too. What would be an example of that? A game that is a good fighting game but a bad normal game. Well, I guess that one is trickier. Good fighting game but bad normal game. Trying to think. Well, I guess first I should think of good fighting games. Yeah, that one is actually hard to do. That was the last hit. Well, that's a shame. I enjoyed it for a few days, but it wasn't for me. Don't worry, because that game is for nobody. Like, you know that 2XKO was marketed as a game that is for people that don't play fighting games to get comfortable with fighting games, you know? It was essentially marketed as that, like basically what will normally be the recipe for a game with a lot of people playing it, right? Because if you bring in new people, and especially of a popular IP like League of Legends, then that's a recipe for success, right? Well, turns out that in order to achieve that, they got rid of motion inputs. So basically, you know that fighting games, you have things like quarter circle, forward, punch, and that throws a projectile, for example, right? Well, this one doesn't have that. You just have buttons plus a direction, and that's it. So essentially, it's clearly not made with all fighting game players, right? Like fighting game players that have been playing them since the arcade days. Well, it's not made for them. Okay. So, as I say, it's made for new players, right? Well, the thing is that Touhou's KO is a fighting game that has so many mid-subs. Mid-subs is, I guess it's a little bit hard to explain to someone that might be new to fighting games, but essentially they are attacks, or basically setup of attacks that allow you to hit the opponent, because the opponent in the natural state, when they are defending, they block, but there are multiple ways to open up a block. Like, for example, if the opponent is blocking while standing, if you do a low attack, you open them up. If the opponent is holding right, because right in their position is back, so that means they block. Well, if they are holding right, but you attack them from the right, you also open them up, right? That's a mid-sub, essentially an attack or a sequence of attacks or a setup of attacks that eventually has the objective to open up the opponent, to actually hit them and initiate the offensive. Well, Touhou's KO is probably a collection of one of the most degenerate setups in the genre. Like, the fact that you can play as two different characters and you have assists and all of this shit that allows you to keep the pressure on for so long. Essentially, you have extremely messed up mid-subs that you can only defend against if you're actually, like, constantly practice against them. Something that new fighting game players usually never do, because they are just trying to play the game, like, just getting used to the controls. Thing is, obviously you have to worry about getting used to the controls, but the mid-subs are so degenerate that you don't even have time to get used to the controls, because someone is gonna be dancing on your corpse, basically, with those mid-subs. And if you don't learn them, you're gonna constantly get beaten unless you fight someone that is worse than you. Sure, that's usually the case in fighting games, but with the fact that they are oversimplified controls, as I say, there are no motion inputs, anyone can do those mid-subs. And some mid-subs, and the majority of the cases, mid-subs are easier to do than they are to defend against them. So at that point, you end up with a game that is not made for the classic arcade fighting game players, okay? But it's also not made for new players, okay? So, well, maybe it's made for, I don't know, people that have been playing fighting games for a while, but also for some reason don't like motion inputs. Okay, and who are those people? Are those people in the room with us? No. Well, yeah, there might be one or two. Well, to be more statistically accurate, yeah, maybe there are 100 of those people in the world. 100 is nothing. And at that point, you have a fighting game that you ask yourself, who does this appeal to? Right? Like, the echo mid-subs are the worst. Yeah, well, I mean, everyone has degenerate mid-subs in that game. And the thing is that at that point, like, okay, maybe League of Legends fans will be interested. No, actually, Arcane fans will be interested. Well, the thing is that the most likely scenario is that the average Arcane or League of Legends fan has never played a fighting game in their life. If that's the case, what you want to do is something like what Smash Brothers did, which is essentially a party game that has a lot of single player content and that you just press buttons and your character does stuff, right? Like Smash Bros is the perfect example of a game that is perfectly there for casual people to play. Like, you know, someone played Fire Emblem, right? And they are like, wow, like I really like this game, you know, I think Marth is pretty cool. I would really like to play Marth outside of Fire Emblem, right? And they are like, oh, there is a game called Smash Bros that has Marth. And you are like, well, I want to play as him. And you don't have any issues to do that, because you can just simply press buttons and Marth is gonna do attacks, right? And it works, and with the single player content that you have, you can just immerse yourself in that, never fight against another person and have fun with Marth. To be fair, it's more common that people knew Fire Emblem because of Smash than the opposite, but the point is that anyone that is a fan of any character can just hop into that game and play, and they are gonna have fun. They might not like the game, that's possible, but the point is that they wouldn't have any issue playing it. With Touhou's KO and the fact that it has non-existent single player content, you have to fight against other people, right? So the controls being simple, you maybe think, well, it's like Smash, like you can just pick it up and do stuff. But when you're fighting against someone else and you are in equal conditions, you are not gonna see your character do that, because you're constantly gonna get your ass beaten. Like, if anything, you're gonna see how your character is getting his ass kicked. So I guess, like, I don't know, if you're a League of Legends player and, I don't know, you absolutely hate Shins, well, that's pretty good. You can pick Shins, you can go online and get your ass kicked and see Shins getting beaten. Alright, cool. But I don't think that's most people, you know? Like, I would think that the people that want that are very small. So at that point, I go back to my previous question. Who is Touhou's KO made for? And the answer is a very small minority of people that obviously won't be enough to keep the game afloat. Because it's not like these developers are making the game out of the goodness of their hearts or how much they love League of Legends. They are making the game for a profit, like any big company does. So eventually, when there are no people playing that game, well, it's already kinda the case now, but I mean, when there are even less people playing the game, what happens to the game? Well, it dies, that's what happens to it. So unless they make very, very core changes to the gameplay to the point where they actually at least try to appeal to someone, that game is gonna be dead in not very long. So yeah, unfortunately, there is no way for me to enjoy League of Legends in any way. Not through the game itself and not through other games either. Because there's also shit like Legends of Runeterra, I think. Like, it's like an auto chess game or some shit like that. I'm also not a fan of those games, so... Well, and the other way to consume that will be to watch Arcane, but I'm not a fan of watching shows either, so... Essentially, League of Legends and its whole universe was not made for me. That's what I'm trying to say. And unless they somehow make I mean, I don't know what they could even do. There's also Mage Seeker, I think you could enjoy that game. But what type of game is it? The way it sounds, it makes me think of a deck builder. And that's also not the type of game I would enjoy, but I could be wrong. Could be something else, you know? I usually... anything that is not real-time action, I usually don't like it. Well, either real-time action or something like... essentially, I don't like thinking, you know? Like, thinking is something that makes me feel bad. So I like not thinking when I play games. So that's perfect for me. Like games like this one, for example, right? Games like this one are pure brain dead shit, but I like it. It's like Hades. Yeah, unfortunately I don't like Hades. See, I played Hades. I'm pretty sure I have a video of Hades beating it once, and no, I don't like those type of games. Basically, any game that has an isometric view, I don't like it. You know, isometric view to me is a repellent, pretty much. Like isometric view, I think the only game that has isometric view that I remotely like is Ragnarok Online, and that game, that game is a piece of shit for many other reasons. I like it because I played it when I was young, but that game has so many shitty things about it. Like, I could not recommend anyone to play it. At least not anyone that I like, you know. I could recommend it to someone I hate, I guess. But yeah, Ragnarok Online is one of those games that, well, everything related to the art is very good. Like the sprite work, the music, the models are all very well done. Problem is that as an MMORPG, well, it's like any MMORPG, basically a grind fest. I'm the opposite, I love isometric view. I grew up on Diablo, yeah, it makes sense. In my case, well, I can say that I didn't really grow up on Ragnarok Online, though. I played that when I was a teenager, and by then I think that I already had my game tastes already formed. I basically grew up on platforming and racing games. So platforming, well, as you can see, like something that I'm playing right now. Well, 2D platformers mainly, and racing games. Racing games, I think I played more racing games than platforming games, but that's a hard statement to corroborate. Might not be the case, I'm not sure. But I did play a lot of racing games, and I love them. And platforming I also played quite a lot. The isometric view games, the only one is Ragnarok Online, I guess. And yeah, I think that if I hadn't played that game when I was young, I would absolutely hate it. And not because of the isometric view specifically, but rather because it's such a grindy MMORPG. Like, it basically grabs everything bad about MMORPGs and turns it up to 11. To be fair, it was one of the first ones. Like, it released only like a year after RuneScape, I think. And RuneScape is like one of the first MMO that most people remember, right? But yeah, it's that early of a game, so basically it has all the shit that people hate about MMORPGs, but yeah, they are all there because they are partly they partly exist because of games like that one. The moral of the story is don't play Ragnarok Online. Like, don't do that. But hey, I recommend you to listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack is very good. That should be your only interaction with the game, though. Trust me, it's better that way. But yeah. I mean, the soundtrack is more about, obviously, the composers themselves, you know? is if you can find the composer other works that I have no clue which ones they are. But if you can find other works, it's more about that than Ragnarok itself, right? It's just that whoever was the director, I think, also did a very good job at assigning the music to the areas they are assigned to. Yeah, I cuck myself by going to the right. The only other interaction with that game should be the boss from your fan game. Oh yeah, well, nobody got there anyways. Well, you know that yesterday you were talking about making a game, and I was also saying that I was making a fan game. I already made a fan game. I'm basically doing like the sequel to that fan game. It's just that sequel in the sense that it's the same type of game, not in the sense that the story really matters. Because there is no story. Well, technically there is a story, but it's like an excuse to to have the game. It's not really a story. Well, and in fact, there's... Yeah, you can try it. I mean, it's called I Wanna Quench the Castle Blaze. I mean, you can look it up on my channel. You probably shouldn't play it, though. I appreciate your interest, but you should not play it. It's basically a fun game like this one, and only 3 people in the world that I know of were able to beat it. Well, without including myself, I guess. But you should not play it. You definitely should not play it. Like, nobody that haven't played an I Wanna Be the Guy fan game before should play it. And even people that already played fan games before probably should not play it either, unless they are specifically a fan of Needle. Needle is a subset of I Wanna Be the Guy fan games that is based on spikes. Like, you basically jump through spikes, and yeah, if you don't like that type of game, assuming you already play fun games, you also shouldn't play. See, like, my game in that regard is like 2XKO. It's basically made for absolutely nobody, except for like the 3 guys that did it. Well, and I should mention 2 of them, because one of them didn't like it. One of them was able to beat it and didn't like it. The other 2 actually like it, surprisingly. But yeah, that's 2 people in the world, and well, it's not like a million people played it, but like the fact that I only know of 2 people that beat it is concerning. So yeah, don't play it. Like, don't try it. Like, trust me, don't try it. Save your time and disk space. It's not worth it. Not worth it for anyone that is not specifically a Needle fan game fan. Like, it really... If you don't enter in that category, it's definitely not a game for you. So yeah, as I say, it's not a game for most people. Like, essentially a game for a minority that barely even exists. Well, they do exist, but like, they are a very small minority. But yeah, I don't recommend it. Well, in fact, I think I remember like another viewer that didn't play fun games play it, and I don't think they got past like the 5th screen. And then there is another one that also didn't play fun games, but it's usually used to hard games. Well, at least to hard shoot 'em up specifically. And he only got to like the second zone, and he couldn't go any further. So what I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't play it. You shouldn't try it either. Obviously, I cannot stop you. Like, if you're somehow so curious, yeah, go ahead. But you should not do it. You should not. Save your time and disk space. You can find it in Delicious Fruit. Delicious Fruit is a web page that is essentially like a library of I Wanna Be the Guy fan games. You can find it there too. I basically type Quench in the search bar and it should be there. It's a game that... Well, the game that I'm trying to make that is a sequel of it, I wanna do it way easier than that. It might still not be a game for you or for, well, basically people that are new to fun games, but at least it should be beatable. I won't play all the way through, well, yeah. I mean, I don't think, and this is not to underestimate your skill, but I think that even if you try, you're not gonna get to the end. Like, trust me, one of my viewers that, as I say, it's probably like he plays Touhou, or at least he used to, not anymore, but he played Touhou, like one of the Touhou games, Touhou 11. He managed to do a lunatic no bomb run, which, well, if you don't know what that means, lunatic is the highest difficulty. No bomb means not using bombs, so essentially it means that you have to dodge everything naturally without any sort of help, like just plain dodging, and he managed to do that, and that's something that not many people in the world can do. Well, I cannot do it, and I play a lot of, well, or at least I used to play a lot of Touhou, and I'm not even close to pulling that off. And that guy, that viewer of mine, was able to pull it off. And also, that viewer of mine could not get past the second zone. So obviously, yes, the skill set that you need for platforming games and for Danmaku games are completely different, yes. So it's not like him being good at Danmaku means that he's gonna be good at platforming, but the point is that he's the kind of player that does not give up easily. In fact, the reason that he got to the second zone in the first place is that he's that type of person that he doesn't give up, because if he easily gave up, he would have stopped like in what, the 5th screen in the first zone. So yeah, like as I say, I don't want to underestimate your skills, but I think that even if you really wanted to beat it, you cannot. Well, for example, Wasabi here, well, the name here in the chat is Fruitless, so yeah, I call him Wasabi because that's kind of like the name I first known him for. Well, he plays this type of game, so he's good at them, and he was also not able to beat it. You can also say that maybe he didn't try that hard. He played a lot of fucked up shit. So if he also wasn't able to do it, that technically you can say that he's part of like the target audience. Yeah. Yeah, as much as it hurts saying it, my fun game wasn't really made with much people in mind, really. Well, originally I thought that it was made for more people in mind than it ended up being the case, but that's because I underestimated the difficulty. Like, it turns out that the game is actually very hard. At first I didn't think it was that hard. Until like some of my viewers and also some other people that are not really viewers but play fun games, they started playing it, and I saw them struggle in places that I did not struggle, and I'm like, oh shit, I might have gone a little bit overboard. And you might be thinking that I'm saying that to brag about how good I am, but no, that's the typical example that a developer will always naturally be better at the game than any first-time player. That's an obvious thing, it's just that I guess it wasn't very obvious for me. Because fun games like this one have such an upper ceiling of skill. Like, some people are so good at these fun games, and I'm not even close to how good those people are. So I thought to myself, well, if I don't struggle that much with my fun game, then that means that those people are also not gonna struggle. Only to find one of them that is like an extremely good fun game player, that was one of the ones that managed to beat it. I watched him play and I'm like, wow, this guy is struggling in screens that I could not imagine him struggling. And that's when it dawned on me, fuck, I did an abomination. I made a game inspired by World's Hardest Game when I was 14. It was way too difficult. Yeah, I mean, well, that's how I wanna be the guy essentially kinda started, in a way. Like, probably very inspired in games like that were meant to be unfair, you know? But in my case, the surprise is that I didn't really make it to be that hard. Like, that wasn't my idea. But it ended up being very hard. And obviously I could rebalance it, but I feel like at some point when a game is released, I mean, I could have done like an additional difficulty setting, like after realizing how hard it was, but I wouldn't be able to modify what is already there. I feel like once a game is out, unless there is a game-breaking bug, there should not be any further updates. Unless it's to add additional content that does not affect the existing content. But to me, the first version of a game should be the only version. So yeah, I didn't really bother rebalancing because I'm like, no, I'm fine with the game being that way. But yeah, originally that wasn't my idea, you know. But once the game is there, it will remain there as it is. Damn, I cucked myself again in the same exact way. Fuck. Actually not being able to get past that. Nah, it's fine, who cares. The point is that with this new fun game that I'm making, I want to make it so more people can play it. That being said, it's still probably gonna be a very hard challenge for first-time player, but I will actually have a first-time player tested once it's done. Which is, by the way, the guy that I mentioned that he got to the second zone and ended up quitting because it was too hard. Well, that same guy will test this one, and if he manages to beat it, I will assume that it's okay. Though I realize that he's also a very special player, like, he doesn't easily give up, so it doesn't really represent the average player, but I want to. I want to see if he can beat it, and if he can, yeah. Playtesting is important. It's something that I heavily underestimated with the first game, that I basically did not, well, I tested it myself, and that's precisely the issue. I tested it myself and no one else tested it. So to me the game was fine, like the game was easy. Well, easy, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't extremely hard. And when I watch people play, I realized, no, it's actually quite hard. So yeah, it's not... Playtesting is important, yes, but more importantly, that people that are not the developer playtested. That's extremely important. Because you might be thinking that you're making something and you're not making something. Or when I say making something, it's that you're making something particular, but it ends up not being exactly what you think it is. So you need someone from outside to give you their opinion, right? Because otherwise, well, yeah. I had like 10 of my friends try the prototype of my game to help me learn what makes the game hard and easy and how to make it feel good. Yeah, in my case, well, I'm more basically, well, I wanna be the guy. Fun games have a difficulty measurement that is obviously not anything, you know, super standard. It's purely subjective in the same way that game reviews are, but like, we have like a scale from 0 to 100 on how hard a fun game is. So one of the people that will test it does play fun games, and basically I will tell him I want this game to be a 50. I want this game to be like in the middle. So if it's not a 50, tell me what to change to make sure it is one, right? And then after that I will be like, well, did you find it fun? And then we will see there. Problem is that if the answer is no, there's not much I can do at that point, right? The game is not fun, well, fuck. Like, I'm not gonna redesign the whole thing. I could, yes, but you know, it already takes me a long time to be able to design the levels and be able to finish the game. I mean, the first game took me 10 months of development to finish. So yeah, doing it all over again from the beginning doesn't really seem like the best idea. Even if it ends up not being fun, I think that I'd rather stay with the result than, you know, than redoing it. But yeah, we will see. Like, it's still a very long time until the game is done. I say that it's most likely gonna happen in June. Got it. And you know what's pretty sad is that could have happened like 20 minutes ago, if only I hadn't died to the final attack. Okay. Well, we're in a different era. Well, I obviously cannot read whatever that says. Alright. We beat that, so I guess I'm gonna go back to keyboard now since this seems to be needle. Damn, a diamond champ? No way. An actual diamond champ? Like, just like that? Really? Are you sure about that? Like, are you sure you want me to do that? Like, it's... a diamond champ, yeah, it's an actual diamond champ. Alright, got it. But then... That's a Kirby sprite from Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Is there gonna be a Kirby boss? I don't know what to expect. Wait, this is Rallyets. It's a very old Namco game. I guess you could call it a rally game, but it was more like a Pac-Man clone, you know? Skills? Yeah. How are you doing, Sunshine? Yeah, I'm doing well. Well, in fact, I was talking earlier that you were also one of the people that tried my fan game and yeah, couldn't get very far, as it is to be expected. My fan game is essentially a fan game that not many people should play. It's just not really done with many people in mind. Have to go back up, unfortunately. Oof, that was close. I can't believe I somehow missed that. What a moron. Damn, I'm an actual moron. Good shit. Wait, wasn't that the... Oh, I missed one, actually. I didn't see that. That's a little bit of a problem. Yes. I will find it too difficult, yeah. You know, like, that's the expected reaction. Like, that game is really not meant to be played by people that haven't played fan games, and yes, I say before, even people that play fan games, for the most part, cannot really beat it, so, yeah. Damn, I keep missing that stupid-ass flag. Alright, let me go here. And in the meantime, let me get this one. Ah, fuck. Okay, that flag probably should be the first one. Well, technically the second one, since the path there makes you pick the previous one no matter what. Yeah, that's the reason why you hear this song. This is a song that is usually associated with Pac-Man, but yeah, it was most like, I mean, it's what made was made by the same company, but most likely by the same developers as well, because the game is essentially extremely similar to Pac-Man. Rally X I'm talking about, right? You beat the first screen, nice. Good job. There's only 89 more to go. I'm not kidding on that. I mean that it's good progress, you know. Like the game, like the first screen is not a good representation of what the rest of the game is gonna have. Like the game is very hard. Like usually the first screen of every zone tends to be very easy because it's kind of like presenting the gimmick. Well, in this case it's more that I'm presenting the game itself, so the first screen is basically very easy. Well, again, very easy for fun game standards, of course. So yeah, it's later that you have to worry with the kind of shit that's gonna appear. Don't feel bad for not being able to get far. It's a game that is just the way it is. I gotta wait here. Go. Okay, okay, the one then, I always miss one. At least the one on the top shouldn't be that hard though. Here, well, you can go back like this, yeah. And this one should also be easy to get. As long as there is no trap at the end. Okay. It is simply getting to the exit. Should not be a problem. Yeah, there we go. Alright, well, if that's the gimmick, as long as there are no traps, it should be fine, I guess. Surely. Hey, that also means that these screens can potentially take a long time. But that's fine. Well, you can fall there. Yeah, I think that I could pick the other ones later. So the optimal pathing is probably going up first and then going down. Okay. Well, obviously here... fuck. Saving is worthless, yes. It only saves your position, but obviously not the amount of flags you have. I mean, the hard part is that you essentially have to stay alive for a while. That's what makes this hard. So I cannot get past that now. For some strange reason. I guess that section is a lot harder than I initially gave it credit for. Okay. Oh, close. I'm on the third screen, nice. Steady progress, that's what matters. Yeah, the third screen is the one that starts with the gimmick. The one that starts showing you the champ refresher. And I guess that you can say that that's the first difficulty spike. I died 235 times in 15 minutes, nice. Yeah, don't worry, see, with I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, the death counter is the score, you know? We basically consider the death counter to be the score, so don't worry about it. Having a high death counter just means that you have a high score. So you don't sweat it. I mean, the real issue here is the amount of time wasted. That is the problem. The deaths are not an issue in itself. It's fine. Okay, this is a safe spot. No, I thought I could make the champ. Oh, you're actually supposed to do an F champ there, then that's evil. So that's the hardest flag in the screen. I should go for it first without a doubt. That must be some kind of record, yeah. I mean, it's definitely some kind of record in the sense that it's further than most people that try the game, because the other people probably didn't even open it, so yeah, that is a record. I mean, you're probably in the top 10 of people that got that far. So yeah, I will say it's a record. I'm pretty sure that most people probably saw the first screen looking the way it does and they were like, nah. No thanks. Oh, you shouldn't go there, that was my bad. It's pretty clear that the top left flag is the hardest one here. So you should go for it first no matter what. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. These flags on the bottom are not an issue. Well, the issue there is the ones at the top are not hard, but well, the one on the right is hard. That one to the right of me right now is a hard one no matter what. You cannot do that one easily. I guess I could pick this one up first and then go for the top left, but then that's such a fucked up flag. I mean, I guess if you are at that point, might as well get the one above as well. Or maybe not. Though at the same time, well, you have to go back that way anyways, you know? If you wanna go to the exit, you gotta go through there, so... Yeah, I guess picking it now doesn't make a difference. Because if you have to do that again, it's the same as nothing. You're picking it now for no reason. Ah, cooks. Okay, there you go. I guess going down there is not that bad. Those cars are very, very slow. Okay. So here comes the problem. At least you should go here, and from there you can do stuff. But at the same time, I'm not even sure when is the right time to go. Yeah, I guess there, when the other... Fuck. No. Fuck. It annoys me how everything is outlined here, but the bow isn't. I mean, the bow here is something that... like, they basically did whatever the engine defaults to, which in this case is, if you pick the first difficulty, it adds the bow sprite on top of the player sprite. Like, they didn't really bother customizing it. They could have, but yeah, they were like, nah. Oh, I also realized that this one also has the lines on the bottom of who spike. So maybe this was also made by that guy. That means that hating on this hating on this level will be my moral duty, huh? Probably should hate on it more. Come on. Not sure why those are so slow. If they were faster, it wouldn't be any different, aside from the fact that it wouldn't be such a pain to wait. A little bit weird, or whatever. Why did you take so long to jump? Fuck, there are some times where it's like I want to land, but I cannot land. Like, I press jump before I land, so that means that I completely miss the time frame to jump, which really sucks. Also, by the way, this zone doesn't have restarting music, basically showing that like, the music doesn't restart when you die, showing that these are the typical assholes that lock the actual non-restarting music to later in the game because otherwise you don't deserve it. These are the kind of assholes with that mentality. Very common in Japanese fan games, apparently. Why didn't you jump, dude? I mean, it's a shame to do all of that just to die on the same spot over and over, but as I say, it's the same to, you know, do it at the beginning, because you need to go there later anyway, so it makes zero difference. Screen 4 at 20 minutes, nice. So you actually were able to get past the first screen that has, you know, that has the jump refresher. Something I recommend you though, I mean, maybe it's a little bit late to say now, but you probably should play the game with a controller. Like, because I tested the game with controller, and a lot of things are way easier to do with controller. So if you're not using controller, unless you are not used to use controller, but yeah, because normally people play these games in keyboard, but that specific fan game was completely tested with gamepad, and a lot of people even say that some parts were uncomfortable because they have to have their finger pressed for a long time. And that's something that is not a problem with gamepad, but it could be an issue with keyboard, so... Yeah. The keybinds are awkward. Well, you can change them in the options. I mean, I know that now that you have done 20 minutes, probably changing them is gonna completely fuck with your muscle memory, but you can change them. In options, you can change the keybinds as you wish. At least, well, the ones that are used in the game. Not the ones used in the menus. The menus always use the same keys. You know, it lets you. Which do you prefer, keyboard or controller? It depends on the game. For shoot 'em ups, I prefer keyboard. For this specific platformers, like I Wanna Be the Guy fan games, I prefer also keyboard. For everything else, gamepad, pretty much. But yeah, you can change the controls, so anything that is more comfortable to you. I mean, for example, what I use when I play these games is WASD to move and numpad 6 to jump, numpad 5 to shoot. That's the configuration I use when I use keyboard on these games. Well, with controller I just use the D-pad and then cross to jump and square to shoot. Pretty sure this song comes from a game called Eve. Well, that's pretty nice because I don't hear any song. Hey, I'm glad there is a song playing in the background, but I don't hear it. Yeah, Eve is an RPG Maker horror game about a girl that gets lost in a museum and enters like frames, and a lot of weird shit happens. It's a good game. Man, I think that they are better of that type, but it's definitely a good one. Alright, so here we don't have Uhuhu Spike, we have Uhuhu Donkey Kong bullshit. Oh, water. Damn, okay, I was not expecting that. So it's an underwater Uhuhu Spike version. Well, except that there are no spikes, so... I mean, the only Uhuhu thing here is the way it looks. Ah, fuck. Nice. Wait, should I get that checkpoint? What's the point of getting that? You are fucking... Okay. That's fine, don't worry about it. The problem is that guy probably doesn't just go down, he probably chases you all the way somewhere. I don't know exactly where it's gonna chase you. He most likely is gonna chase you. Yeah, correct. It was kinda obvious. What is that with the shark up there? I just realized this is a bunch of flashback to stuff from I Wanna Be Assaulted, so spoilers for that game. Yeah, don't worry, I probably... Well, I don't know if I'm gonna play that other game, but I don't mind. You know? Especially... Well, was that game made by Dagger or by the other guy? Because it's the other guy, I don't think I care that much. Personally. Okay, so it just blows up. That's the most useless checkpoint in the game, without a doubt. No reason to get it. I'm assuming that the intended path was not that one, but who cares what was intended. Same two makers as this one? Oh, I see. Well, it's fine. I mean, by the time I played that fun game, I probably already forgot the... I already forgot this game. That happens very often anyways. So yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry too much about it. Okay, how did I do that last time? Did I jump up? No, I'm pretty sure I fell. Actually, you know, now that I think about it, Draenor is also one of those people that started playing the game and couldn't finish it. But Draenor got quite far, it's just that there was a place that was like very hard needle that completely filtered him. And he hates that type of needle as well, so... That's also another crazy thing for me to think about. My fun game also filtered Draenor, and Draenor is very good at fun games. Well, he doesn't play them often, but he's definitely good. So I'm not sure what to do here, because I tried going up and down and neither worked. Okay, it does work, but it's extremely precise. Also, by the way, these are the same... These are the guys with... like the tails from the first Donkey Kong area. At least here the tails have an outline that you can easily see. So do they go at the same... Oh, that's why I was failing randomly. Like, they don't go at the same length. Like, it might look like it, but they actually go at two completely different lengths. Like, that's when you gotta do it. That's such a subtle thing, but yeah, I didn't realize. Here, they don't go that far, and here they go further, which allows you to go down. I thought I was simply mistiming it, but no. It doesn't seem to be synchronized for that, however. Well, actually, yes. You don't even need to stay up there if you do this. Yeah. Though if you do that, you gotta deal with the shells. Yeah, I don't know. Well, if you let yourself fall... yeah, okay, it works. I'm trying to see safe spots. Here, notice that if you jump against the ceiling, you're probably gonna get hit. And then for this one... No, definitely not here because you get hit by that one. This will be a safe spot if it wasn't for the fish. Yeah, that bottom looks hard, actually. I don't think that there's much I can do with that. I basically gotta get lucky, guys. Trying to consciously dodge that is a hard task. Well, maybe not lucky, but yeah. Gotta do some stuff. Unfortunately, this asshole doesn't fall fast enough to dodge the bullet I wanted to dodge. Well, actually it does, never mind. Sorry, kid. These are also very short sections. I mean, I guess it's what Wasabi say, that these are like excerpts from a specific fun game. Here you have simple... Nice! So punishment rooms are a thing here too. I have no clue where this girl is from, by the way. Man. I got trolled. Actually... Isn't she... No, I don't think no. I was out to say no, that anime, no, it's not that one. Love Together? Is that what the song says? Alright, remember here, this is the fall. It's better to die there than to fall to the punishment room. Oh yeah. Well, the issue is that you don't know if there is another one. Usually when there is a punishment room, there are multiple ways to access it. We will see though. Okay. Uh-oh. I don't like the way that looks. Good try, bitch. I don't like the way that looks at all. This smells like an avoidance, and it smells very bad. This is an avoidance. Fuck. This is a good place to get filtered by the game, honestly. We will see though. So how do you... Oh, so you have to, for some reason, jump and press up for some... Like... Pressing up in the ground doesn't do anything and jumping doesn't do anything. Like, you have to do both things at the same time. Or rather, jump into the mirror and then press up. A little bit weird, but sure, why not? This might be the actual filter of the game. In adventure games that have avoidances are usually always where I get a filter. Well, most of the times I beat them. I don't think there's actually been a game that made me quit because of an avoidance. You know? I think I beat them all. So these are assaulted flashbacks. The previous song was Undefined by Tiara. Okay. Oof. Oh, nice. The mirror only had 2 girls. Nice. Team, I actually, not only did I not get filtered by the avoidance, I did it quite fast. Well, and I don't know what this is, but we will see. This one is called Orange Shannon by Mesame P. Why are there 3 saves? I don't like this. Well, and there an avoidance. Hold up, let me check something. How many things do we have in this game? Because that could be the final one. Like, I thought this game was gonna be long, so... But if there are 8 things in total, this could easily be the final thing in the game. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think that's the perfect restart, by the way. I think it makes me go back here by just pressing R. Well, not quite. It will be pretty hard to pull that off. Yeah, I don't think you can actually pull that off. Yeah, like that's the closest you have. Not bad, but yeah. So yeah, I guess this one is the one that will filter me after all, because this seems like a full-length avoidance. And especially if it's the final one, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm surprised because if this is the final avoidance, this was sold as a, well, sold. I say sold in a relative sense. Like, this was presented as a long fun game. Well, I guess it is long compared to the average, but this is not as long as as many other fun games that come to my mind right now. So that's a problem, because if this is the end, that means that the 70 points of difficulty are exclusively in this avoidance. And that's a problem, obviously. Okay, so, well, here we still have half an hour to go on the stream, but I think that this is the right place to leave it. Like, if I cannot beat it in this half an hour, I think I'm gonna play something else tomorrow, because I'm not gonna do a stream exclusively of an avoidance. So this can be something that I can do when I have free time after playing like another game and beating it, I guess. So this is another Mesame P song. This one is called Silver Course. Well, it's definitely a course, alright? That part is definitely, well, a course like any avoidance, you know? Like basically any avoidance in the history of fun games, it is indeed a course. Okay, you are not supposed to stay down there. Fuck, dude. Though that's crazy. If this, because I remember one, assuming this is the final avoidance, I remember a review saying a super long fun game. Bro, Boshi itself is like 5 times longer than this fun game. I wanna find my destiny is longer. Like, even Domo, I'm pretty sure it's longer. Well, I Wanna Be the Ocean Princess is way longer as well. And I say that because, yeah, I mean, those are very long, but like, those are also a similar difficulty to this one in terms of the number, right? So that's what makes it weird. But yeah, I still don't know if this is the last thing. It just looks like, I mean, the way this is framed looks very clearly like it's the end. The fact that you're already hearing the intro to a song like this, which means that it's most likely the full length, already means that this is most likely the end. And the fact that we already beaten 7 bosses, or at least 7 bosses that the game itself considers bosses, right? That means that the 8th one usually is the last one, especially guys like this that didn't bother changing a lot of things from the default engine, and the default engine has 8 bosses, right? So yeah, that most likely means this is the end. Yeah, as you obviously expected, this is a vocal song, and that was only the intro. Wow, nice. What a beautiful pattern, dude. Ah, fuck. I predict that this is gonna be 4 minutes. I mean, the average Vocaloid song is usually 4 minutes. So yeah. This is gonna suck. But as I said, at least that gives me free reign to play a different game tomorrow. And this one, anytime that I want to, like, I feel masochistic enough to play an avoidance, I can come back and play in it. Well, the problem is that I never feel like playing an avoidance, you know, because I don't like them. Nice. The patterns in this game are nice. Well, usually avoidances tend to be like this after all. Avoidances in general are first and foremost made to be pretty. So that's something that when you see an avoidance, unless it's like an avoidance with no effort, it usually looks pretty. Yeah, the problem here is that it's gonna be very hard and that you're obviously gonna be hearing the same song over and over again. But I think that this is the perfect place to just leave the game for some time that I have free time and not actually try hardest until I beat it. Though I guess at that point I might as well have confirmation. Is this the final thing in the game, Wasabi? Because if it isn't, maybe I should reconsider, but it most likely is, right? It is the final, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, it looked like the obvious final thing. Alright, so yeah, if I cannot beat it in the half an hour that is remaining, which is most likely gonna be the case, I'm just gonna leave it for some time where I have nothing better to do, which is not tomorrow. In fact, I can already tell you what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I wanna play the Shantae games again, but in the alternate modes it has. Like essentially every Shantae game has an alternate mode, just like the Metroidvanias from Castlevania, right? You have an alternate mode that does something different. Well, I wanna play those. And yeah, I guess tomorrow I will start doing that. The scary thing is that this avoidance, as I said before, this game is rated with a 70. The only reason why this rated a 70 is probably exclusively because of this avoidance. Because if you ask me about the rest of the game, I will qualify it as a 55 or 60 at most. So the 70 comes exclusively from this shit. That's almost obvious. Also, I don't know if this will be better for me to use controller. Because you don't need to shoot here, you know? You just need to dodge. Yeah, theoretically here, either of them will be the same for me. Since it's only dodging. Yeah, I don't think controller will work better. Did I get killed by one of the things appearing from the bottom? Really? Nice. Well done. Very cool. So I'm a little bit worried. You know that I haven't heard of Metits in a while. Something tells me that they are already booking a plane. Well, booking. I don't know if that's how you say it. Basically purchasing a ticket to to Argentina to beat my ass. I'm getting into a plane as we speak. I'm stuck on screen 4, damn. It's understandable. As I say, I don't recommend you to keep going. I mean, obviously, if you want to and you somehow enjoy the pain, hey, I'm no one to say no on that. Obviously, you can do anything you want, but the thing is that you gotta understand that that game, like, yes, screen 4 is now the issue, and it will take you a bit to get past it. But I can guarantee you that the game gets exponentially difficult. So that's why I think that the most optimal way to confront the situation is by leaving now and not wasting any more time in the game if your idea is beating it, you know? Though, if you are interested in those type of fun games, I can recommend you a lot of them that are beginner friendly. But I don't think, I mean, judging by what you say that your type of games are, I don't think that this will be your type of game. But hey, you never know. I mean, you know that reading games are also not my thing. Well, and they are still not my thing, but like, I played Project Diva and I absolutely love that game. Probably one of my favorite games even. So you could be surprised, maybe this genre might be for you and you haven't realized. Chances are that it's not the case, so but yeah. Wait, hold up. Give me a second. I'm gonna die in a little bit, so don't worry. I'll read it in a short time. Yeah, like that. What I can think of with gimmicks in it like this one is I wanna be the chromatic. Yeah, I was out to say that, actually. It's just that I wanted to probably recommend a more popular one, maybe, because, I mean, Chromatic Wonder is a very short one. Well, it's maybe not gonna be short for methods, but the point is that it's like, I don't know if it's the kind of game that you play and you beat and you are like, damn, I want to play more of this. Like, I'm not sure if for a first time player that game is like the best recommendation. But yeah, I don't know what else could be. Well, there are probably tons of beginner friendly needle games, but the point is that I'm not sure if a lot of them are good to play. Well, you mentioned one earlier today, Wasabi. Which one was it? Like, because I mentioned Touhou Spike and you say there was another one that was more popular because it was beginner friendly. Like, that one, maybe methods could like it or not. Yeah, I wanna be the Kaenvyo, yeah, that one. That one, for what you told me, doesn't have gimmicks. Like, it has... There are actually 3 of those. Oh, really? Well, in that case, it could be a good idea. But that's only assuming that you're interested in this type of games. If you look at these games and you're like, nah, this shit fucking sucks, dude, I can't believe you're playing trash like this, then yeah, well, yeah, obviously I don't think any recommendation will be appropriate, but yeah. It's like I say, like, when it comes to video game tastes, there is a big difference. I mean, Metits told me that they've been playing League of Legends for like 13 years. I could not imagine doing that myself. I could not imagine playing League of Legends for one day, let alone 13 years, you know? And the same probably applies in reverse, like, Netflix probably looks at these games and it's like, what the hell, people play this shit? Yeah, people play this shit. And oh wow, okay, epilepsy warning there. That's fucked up. That's actually fucked up. that they should make a flash like that without warning. Okay, if anyone has epileptic issues, don't look at the stream. Like, that's fucked up. Without warning, really. I'm not interested in it, no, but I appreciate the skills they take. Yeah, that tends to be the case in a lot of genres, especially, like, for example, I hate speedrunning, but I can see that a lot of games actually, you know, a lot of speedruns are, like, the amount of skill they require is crazy. But I will never speedrun myself because I just think that it takes away all the fun from the game, you know. I hate flashing lights. Yeah, that's, well, I think you're not gonna like shoot 'em ups either in that case. League of Legends show him Boshi. Wait, what do you mean show him Boshi? He will love to see that game appear in there, but it doesn't appear there. Like, the game that appears there is World of Warcraft, not League of Legends. I know that they look similar, but you know, League of Legends does not well, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, when Boshi came out, League of Legends was not even a thing. What do you hate about speedrunning? Well, I usually like to play games at my pace, so, you know, having to play the game while going very fast, and that a single mistake can make you restart the whole thing, I'm not usually a fan of that. Well, that's very ironic considering that I like shoot 'em ups where also a single mistake can make you restart the whole thing, but those are like half an hour at most, and usually you're allowed to make multiple mistakes. In speedrunning, yeah, you're also allowed to make multiple mistakes if you don't have a set objective, but to me, I feel like in speedrunning, unless the game has an achievement for it, I don't see any reason to speedrun if I'm not going for the world record. And I'm never gonna be good enough to go for the world record, you know? Like in any game. So I just don't see a point to speedrun in my case. I am aware you don't need to go for the world record, but as I say, I just don't see why I will speedrun if I don't want to go for the world record. Unless, as I say, the game has an objective and maybe a reward for getting to a specific amount. I like speedrunning because of the skills, but I get the experience being ruined. Well, I mean, if you already played a game, it's not like it can ruin the experience you already had, but I just think that that experience in itself is not nice. The fourth screen third save is so hard. I wonder which one that is. Well, if you ever get stuck, I guess you are already stuck in that game, but I played my own game on stream, so if you get stuck in a save and you don't know what to do, you can try seeing me do it. Though you probably know what to do and it's simply hard to execute, but in case you need to know how it's done, well, it's there. But then again, I think it's mostly a matter of execution, and it's not like watching someone do it is gonna magically allow you to execute it, you know? I mean, otherwise everyone will be able to do a world record run on every game, you know? If there are medals like bronze, silver, gold for speedrunning, will you enjoy it? Usually not. I play games that have medals, and unless I can get them in the first try or very close to the first try, I don't tend to bother to go for gold medals. Like, in my specific case, like, this is something that I'm probably a minority here, but I dislike when a game ranks your performance. Like, I only like it when the objective is beating something, and once you beat something, that's it, right? So for example, well, I was mentioning Devil May Cry earlier. I really like Devil May Cry, but there is one thing that I hate, and it's the rank system. Like, I don't care if I did a level fast enough or aggressively enough. Like, I should care about the fact that I beat the level and that's it. Obviously, I can ignore it. I mean, the rank is there, but it doesn't block you from doing anything, so it's as it should be, right? But like, you could not see me try hard to get like an S rank in Devil May Cry as much as I like the game. And that applies to every other game that has like side objectives like that. Like, I could not care about getting a gold medal or a specific thing. It all depends though, because in some games the gold medal is kind of like the intended way to beat it, right? But for example, actually a good example of a game I absolutely love and I never bother going for the gold medals of the license test is Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is a racing game, and in the career mode, in order to participate in some events, you need to do license tests that essentially are going through a specific section of a track in a specific amount of time. And you have a bronze, silver and gold medal. To pass and to get the license, you only need to get the bronze medals. And that's what I do. I get the bronze medal, and if I accidentally get silver or something, that's great. But I don't try hard to get gold, because it's extremely hard to get a gold medal in Gran Turismo games. So I basically just get the bronze to get the license and I'm out of there. So yeah, basically, I usually don't like ranks in games at all. Like, and not to mention, even if the game has a reward for speedrunning it, I will have to like it a lot to actually bother doing that. And I don't think, well, even games like Mega Man, for example, you know, I love the Mega Man games, and Mega Man 9 and 10, if I'm not mistaken, have achievements for speedrunning. I never bother with any of them, and I don't think I'm ever gonna bother with them either. So that's the thing, even games that I absolutely love, I don't bother doing that, even when there is a recognition from the game, you know? Is the ranking system why you don't like Metal Gear? No. No, it isn't. I wish the ranking system was my biggest issue with Metal Gear, because if that was the case, I would actually probably play it. But no, that's far from being my biggest issue. I mean, after all, if that was a problem that didn't allow me to play a game, I wouldn't have played the Devil May Cry games. And Devil May Cry is an amazing franchise. And specifically, well, you know, this is a generic opinion, but yeah, Devil May Cry 3 is probably one of the best games ever made, even. I will say probably definitely the best hack and slash in history, but also very close to being one of the best games ever to me. But yeah, if you don't like hack and slash, I guess there's not much to enjoy there. But yeah, in my case, I don't mind the rank, because, you know, who cares, right? Like, I just enjoy playing the game, and if the game tells me that I got an F rank, well, F the game then, but I'll still enjoy it, you know? Oof. What did I die to? Like, what was my PV? Oh yeah, the flashing lights, and then I died to this. Damn, and they use it multiple times. I hope that there is at least an epilepsy warning on delicious fruit. I don't think there is though. There should be. Wait, is that underwater? No? Well, or maybe it is, but... Wow, nice walling. I don't know where to go there. On it? Thanks. I appreciate it. But like, that I think is... Like, I'm not epileptic, and I also don't know anyone that is epileptic, but... I'm pretty sure that flashing lights like that cannot possibly be good for someone epileptic. Like, I don't think so. And it doesn't help that it happens right at the end of the game, so you play through the whole game and you are like, well, yeah, like, it's fine, like, I can keep going. And then as a surprise, boom, flashing lights just for you. Yeah, that's fucked up. That's actually fucked up. Obviously, it's not like this guy made it with malice, but yeah, it's... Flashing lights like that are very, very dangerous. It's why most games don't bother having flashing lights like that. And even those that don't have them still have epilepsy warnings for other things, right? But flashing lights like that are very, very dangerous. Will have instantly closed the game after. But I think that you will have instantly closed the game after the first zone. So, because you know that this is a trap fun game. Trap fun games are, well, the game says it all. It's fun games that have traps. So I'm pretty sure that you will have hit escape as soon as you saw the first screen, because traps are basically trolls, right? Like you go through a place. Like, for example, you jump above a spike and that spike goes up to kill you, for example, right? So I'm pretty sure that in the very first screen you will have instantly closed it simply because, yeah, it's partly a troll game. Well, on the right side, my fun game is not a trap fun game. It's a pure needle game. It has no traps whatsoever. Like, it's essentially pure needle with champ refresher gimmicks and a boss at the end. It's just that the boss, I don't think many people were able to see it, understandably so. It has a boss at the end, though the boss itself is also quite fucked up. It's just that the interesting thing is, I don't think anyone that played my fan game and got to the boss complained about the boss. Because no matter how fucked up the boss is, everything else is probably more fucked up, you know? So like, the boss in an easier game will have been like the target of a lot of complaints, most likely, but in a game that is as fucked up as that one, yeah, like the boss, if anything, is just, you know, a treat rather than than an extremely fucked up threat, you know? Yeah. This is just how fun games are. It's the nature of fun games. They are so, like, for someone that isn't into fun games, they are... I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about people that are not into fun games. Like, these are some very weird things, you know? In my case, obviously, I'm more than used by now. Well, not to mention that, even if I wasn't used to this type of games, the fact that I played Touhou before playing these fun games already made me used to fucked up games. So, even my first encounter with fun games was not really a surprise. Well, not to mention that before I even started playing fun games, I played Wings of B. It's the game that I mentioned the other day, an indie game made by Solgreen, that is probably one of the hardest games on Steam. Like, obviously I haven't played the entirety of the Steam library, so I wouldn't know how true that is, but I'm pretty sure if it's not the hardest Steam game, it's probably like in the top 10 of hardest Steam games. Because other games that come to my mind are shit like Darkest Dungeon or whatever, but I think games like that mostly require knowledge rather than execution. The Wings of V... yeah, I really don't think there might be many harder games than that on Steam. Yeah, obviously outside of Steam, many I Wanna Be the Guy fan games are way more fucked up. On Steam, I think it might be up there. That's the perfect example of a really hard game. Because usually games on Steam, the main idea is to sell, so usually they don't make them that hard, right? Because they want people to be able to play it. But the thing is that, yeah, Wings of V, Solgreen didn't really care too much about that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, considering that he was mostly known for I Wanna Be Deboshi, I guess it was the obvious evolution that even if it was a commercial game, he would want to make it as hard as possible. But yeah. You know, a lot of people, when they are tasked to say hard games, they automatically think of shit like Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a newborn baby compared to Wings of V. But Dark Souls, or basically any RPG game that essentially allows you to farm to get stronger. Like, they could be pretty hard, but at some point you can essentially brute force them. You farm enough to get strong enough and obliterate everyone that is in your path. Wings of V is not like that, it's not an RPG game, so what you have is what you will use. And yeah, what you have is usually not enough to beat them easily. Try playing against a world champion in League. Yeah, but League of Legends is not a Steam game. So even if that is, well, I'm assuming that is the case, that playing against a world champion is like probably one of the hardest things you can do if you are intending to win. But even if that's the case, it's not a Steam game. So it doesn't count. But yeah, if we're talking about games outside of Steam, there are fun games that haven't been beaten by many people in the world. Well, everyone usually mentions Camellia 3, but I think that the popularity of that game is so big that by now there are a handful of clears, like a not a small amount of clears. But I think that there might be other games like I Wanna Be the Noesis that are not that popular and probably way fewer people in the world with them. And those could be candidates for like hardest games in the world, you know? At least harder games in the world that are meant to be playable. Because obviously right now I could open Game Maker and make like a fun game that has like a million gate champs in a row without checkpoints, and yet technically that could be the hardest in the world. I mean, that shit wasn't made to be beaten. But yeah, of games that are actually meant to be games, yeah, shit like Noesis is probably there. Soul Shenmue is overdone. Well, whether it's overdone or not, a lot of people still have the concept that Dark Souls is still a hard game. I mean, it is a hard game if you are not used to it, I guess, but for the most part, like, there are so many tools that allow you to circumvent the hardest stuff it has, you know? So in that regard, I think that many other games deserve to be called a lot harder than that. Right, so the attack that killed me last time was like one attack that walled me. Not yet though. It was like monochrome cherries. Wow, I almost got killed. Yeah, this is where I died. That's still a hard attack to dodge though. Didn't... Yeah. Alright. I think I'm gonna leave this here. One guy beat all the Souls games back to back without taking a hit. Yeah, well, I don't think that's an example of why those games are easy, because that guy is basically out of his mind. Like, one of the few in the world that can do that. But the point is that even playing the Dark Souls games normally, like, the difficulty doesn't compare to something like Wings of V, you know? But anyways, for this, as I said before, I'm not gonna try to beat it on the next stream. I'm gonna leave this as an open challenge to whenever I have, like, I beat a game on stream and there is enough time left on the stream to try to beat it. But I'm not gonna try harder until I beat it. It's like tomorrow I'll play a different game, but we essentially play through the whole game. The only thing remaining is this avoidance, and you already know how much I hate avoidances, so I will beat it when I have nothing better to do and when the chance arises to actually win, obviously, but that might not be anytime soon, so don't look forward to it. But hey, at least we saw the rest of the game, so I think that's, well, good enough. In any case, that will be it for me for today. So thanks everyone a lot for watching. Well, thanks Metits for trying my fan game, even though obviously it's a little bit too much. Yeah, I know. I'll be giving up on your game as well, yeah. You know, I appreciate the fact that you try them. 1,775, that's, yeah. It's to be expected, but yeah. Thanks a lot for trying it regardless, but yeah, as I say, it's something that you shouldn't play. But yeah, and again, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream, so have a good one and take care.